The opinions made in this video do not necessarily coincide with that of Imaginary Goddess, or anyone else for that matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another exciting episode of Talking Weiss with Ika. Your host Makudo. Today I'm going to talk about brainstorms and all the different kinds of brainstorms you can find in a Weiss deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with brainstorm. I think is fairly good. It's the pay one to draw climax or brainstorms. I'm sorry. So what you do is you pay one, you tap, check the top four. For every climax, you draw a card. This is pretty good in certain decks, depending on if you need hand advantage or if you just need stuff to throw away, stuff like that. I like it. It's pretty nice. Not the greatest, but still pretty good.
Which is the greatest?
Talk about that later. Okay, and I'll talk about this one. This is pretty good. It's from Psychopaths. It is a spammable brainstorm, which is pretty good because you just pay one. You don't have to tap anything, but you pay one to check the top four, and you can salvage. No.
You search,
discard.
Search, discard.
Search, discard. Yeah. So it's not a +1, but you can.
Up your waiting room.
Yeah, you can spam it. It's just like your waiting room. Yeah, it's awesome.
Get what you want.
Yeah, so great.
You hate that card.
Yeah, I do. I hate this card. The next card is kind of, maybe probably the second best brainstorm, which is the pay one tap to search. Just a regular search, so it's a plus. Almost like this, except you don't have to discard when you're done. So it's not spam. It's kind of spammable if you have extra characters, but not really. So you pay one, tap two, search the top four, and then you can search a card. Usually it's a specific card like Magic or Espers or whatever the archetype is for this certain series. But especially level 0, you have to tap 2. Usually at level 1, you tap 1, stuff like that. So, but good. And then probably one of the weaker normal brainstorms, I think, is the plus power, which is to pay 1, top 4. Every climax, you get something plus 2,000. Sometimes it's plus 2k in a soul, sometimes it's just plus 2k. But whatever it is, it's just not as good. Then there's the best brainstorm, which I forgot my cards for, but it's the top 4 for a salvage. Every climax you get, you can salvage your character out. I find that to be the most helpful, just because a lot of times, a lot of your important characters get stuck in the waiting room from either clock or stock or something like that. And you can get them out easier that way, especially since you already know what's in your waiting room, so you don't have to worry about looking, anything like that. You can just dash in real quick, pick it up, and you're good. So the main thing I really wanted to talk about, why I brought up brainstorms in the first place, was back to that random set of cards I bought a while ago. I got a lot of the familiar 0 cards, and I found there was like a lot of different brainstorms. I don't know if maybe they were just trying a bunch of different stuff out, or maybe that's just how they wanted the set to work, where you just go through your deck really fast. But it's got really some interesting ones. Some of them are kind of useless and I would never use. But it's kind of interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over them here. I'll write everything down so I wouldn't forget, because it's all in Japanese.
My scroll.
yeah, my scroll. So first I'm going to go with this one, which is Louisa 0. It is actually a pay 1, rest this. And you check the top 2. For each climax, you can give a character plus 2k and plus 1 soul. Not too bad. You're only losing 2 cards off the top. Especially with so much brainstorm, then it's actually a little bit easier. But it's plus power and soul, so usually. The second card I have is called Michelle. It's level 1, 0 cost. It's a pay 1, rest this. Check the top 2 again. This one is actually a minus 6k to one of your opponent's front row characters. It would be great if it wasn't a character, because then you can kill back row characters, but It's not. So, but minus 6K is still good.
Something tells me Bushra thought of that.
Yeah, they probably. I'm pretty sure they were on it with that one. And this is the last one for the trial deck. These are actually from the trial deck. So, Saito's Disposition. This one is a backup or a counter. So, when you play it, you can choose a character to get plus 2K, and then you check the top 3. If one card is a climax, then you can give someone else or that same character a plus 2K. So it's a pay one, so for almost 4K boost, and you can separate it if you need to. So not bad. It's 3 cards, so but it's as long as you check a climax. So it's not for every climax. It's if you get at least one. All right, and for the regular cards from the set, we have Louise the Black Cat. This is a pay one. Rest this, and you're gonna check the top 4. And then for every climax, you can search. So this is just standard search. I guess they actually have to have at least 1 or 2 regular cards. Brainstorms. Now this one is military training. You give 2 characters plus 2K. Then if you check the top 3, if you get at least 1 climax, then you can give 2 people plus 1 soul. So it's interesting. It's more like a power event, but you can also add soul too. But then it helps you go through your cards, I guess. Probably not a card I would use, but somebody might. All right. This is probably a good. This is a good card. I thought was really good. Tiffany Westwood. You pay 1, rest this, and you search the top 4 for a climax. Each climax you get, you can give everyone plus 2K, which is really good, I think. It's a 0, so she goes on the field pretty early, but pretty nice. All right, this card is called Punishment. You check that it's a event, so you just use it. 0 cost, level 2. Check the top 3. If you get at least 1 climax, you can minus 1 of your opponent's 7K. Also front row, so no killing back row. But minus 7K, that's not great, but it's alright, I guess. Alright, and this card is, that's how you pronounce that, Derflinger, Legendary Sword. I guess that's probably the name of the sword, I guess. You rest 1, or pay 1, rest this, and you take the top 4, and then you deal 1 damage for every climax. So I think that's pretty good. If you don't hit any climaxes, of course you don't do anything, but that's the same with any brainstorm, you just miss. But you're still going through your deck, and you have the chance of dealing direct damage, which is always nice. And it's an assist for +5. So I think it's decent. I might play that. Who knows? Okay, and another card here. This is actually one of my favorite ones. It's Operation Hostage Rescue. It's a level 2, pay 1, but when you play this, you salvage 1, then you check the top 3. If you get at least 1 climax, you can salvage another card. So that's pretty good. You get a card that you already know is in your waiting room. Then when you check the top 3, if you get at least 1 climax, then you can you salvage another card. So either what was already in there or whatever one of those cards you got from the top of your deck. So pretty good. I actually kind of like it. I think I put it in the deck I made, but I'm not sure. This one's pretty good. The Betrayal of Wards. The red ones are all pretty good, I think. Top 3, if you get a climax, put 1 character from your opponent's field on the top of their deck. So that's pretty good. Usually it's level 2, so if they have like there's other level 3s, like from Change or something, you just throw it on top of their deck and then they check this damage. So they don't get to save it or anything like that. And they can't use one of those crazy waiting room savers either, because it goes to the top of the deck, so pretty good.
Fuck them.
Yeah, hate those cards. Unless I'm using it like Peanut or something like that. Okay, now this is a grade 3 event brainstorm. Pretty cool. Just pay 1. You flip the top card, and you deal the damage equal to the card's level. So I think it's pretty good, especially for a level 3 event. The cost is pretty low. Even though when you're 3, you might be saving stock for characters, some level 3s or something, but I feel like 1 stock is enough to possibly do damage. Of course, if you check a climax or 0, then you don't do anything, but a 1 or 2 or a 3 is still pretty good. Hopefully, maybe you can force them to hit one of their climaxes before you do direct damage with one of your characters. So, pretty nice. Okay. Now we have the blue ones. This one's pretty interesting. The Water Spirit. You draw 1 card when you play it. So you pay 1 to get a card. So you're already... It's like the salvage one. You're already guaranteed 1. But then you flip the top 3. If you get a climax, then you get to draw another card. So it's actually just like Operation Hostage Rescue, except you draw instead of salvage. So +1, possibly +2. Not bad. And then the last one I have here is Pinching Tiny Louise. Another event, so you just pay 2. You don't have to tap any cards or anything, but you flip 1 card, and 1 battling character gets -2 soul, or minus soul, equal to 1 plus the level of the card. So even if you check a 0 or a climax, you still minus at least 1 soul. So pretty good. And you can pick any of the battling characters, so you can give it to yourself if you don't want. If you want to take damage, or you can give it to your opponent, so to make sure that they don't do any damage. Pretty good event backup, because you can still use it even if you're going to win the match. Usually you would just use a backup to make sure you do damage, or save that character. But this one minuses soul, so you're not going to take any direct damage. So pretty cool. The deck I made, it's not playing blues, so I'm not using it, but it's not a bad climax or brainstorm. But that's about it. That's all I had there for all those random 0 no Tsukama brainstorms. I thought it was kind of fun when I was making the deck and I was going through them, trying to figure out which brainstorms I wanted to use or how I wanted the deck to play. But because usually you either just, because they usually just have the main ones, which is either the search, the draw, the salvage, or the plus power. Obviously, I don't have my salvage here with me, but still pretty good. Still pretty good. And thanks for watching, guys.